Hello, Blizzard fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between MorN and JevynSlayer on Frost, the latter edition. For a second there, the pronunciation of Jevyn tripped me up, but I got it right. Okay. In the top left of Frost, the latter edition, we have the red Terran player. It is MorN, representing MorN. And in the bottom right of Frost, the latter edition, we have the blue Zerg player, JevynSlayer, also representing MorN. So these two are likely clanmates, likely know each other quite well. This could be a fairly interesting ZVT game on Frost, the latter edition. Have I ever cast a game on this map before? I don't know that I have. So let's see here. You got your natural, fairly standard stuff, but your third base, probably over here, I'd say. It's fairly well protected. Coming up here, there's a Zelnaga watchtower, two of them on the map. Fairly narrow bridges. Are these the only ways to get across the map? Unless you're flying? Oh, these little tiny paths here at the same time are pretty accessible as well. So, alright, link counterattacks and stuff, small movements with tanks and marines could probably get through there fairly easy. Big armies would probably get bottlenecked and slowed down if they try to go through there as well. So, pretty interesting map feature. I like to see that. Again, this is Heart of the Swarm, so not much happening here yet in the game. You start out with so few workers. When you go back to Heart of the Swarm after playing Legacy of the Void for so much, it's just a weird experience. You're like, oh man, am I still making workers? It's already a minute and 56 seconds into the game. Usually I would have a spawning pool by now and a hatchery if you're Zerg. But no, this is Heart of the Swarm. A little bit slow, and I think I'll be happy when the pro movement finally moves over to Legacy of the Void. You can get some really fast games going between a lot of professional players. It'll be super fun to watch for everybody involved, those casting it and those watching it. So yes, it is a 15 hatch from JevynSlayer, and Command Center fairly early here from MorN. Yeah, going Command Center after that supply depot. Both players recognizing this is a huge map. It's hard to get Marines and Reapers across it. It's hard to get Lings across it, especially if you have to scout. And it looks like we do have to scout. The Overlord heading up here, another Overlord heading down to the bottom left side of the map. You're going to check things out. Apparently, you can spawn on the same sides of the map here. Cross spawns are not required, or else Jevyn would not be scouting in these directions. So, pretty good play here with the Overlords. I'd like to see maybe a drone scout, but at this point, your drone will be gone for so long, it might detrimentally impact your mining for just long enough that you could possibly lose the game if you're coming up against an evenly matched opponent. So at this point, where both players know each other so well, I think Jevyn choosing not to scout might have been the correct decision here. Again, there's really nothing he has to worry about. It's not Banshee. We don't have double gas. It's not going to be Mass Reaper, which I don't think is a strategy that's super valid anymore anyway. We did see somebody try that, though, in an LOTV game that subscriber Bob Bosch submitted last week, I think it was, where the Terran went Mass Reaper against Zerg, and it almost worked. It really did, but in the end, the Roaches came out, and that was pretty much all she wrote for those Reapers, which is pretty much how it would go in Heart of the Swarm as well. Roaches just do so well against those Reapers. They're tanky, they have as long range, you can't really kite them, and in the end, Roaches are the rock that beats Reaper's scissors. Alright, so Overlords moving across the map very, very slowly. Nothing here. SCV Scout says, hey, there's also nothing here for me to find. Overlord says, nothing here either. That must mean the Terran scum is in the top left. Zerg player back home, not doing anything whatsoever, getting Ling speed, getting drones, getting queens. It is 22 to 19 harvesters right now in favor of the Zerg player, but things can change. Is that a third command center? It is. MorN getting a third command center, 3-base Terran going bio. Really scary stuff for Zerg players. Pretty much hit and miss if you're going to win that if you're a Zerg. And I guess hit and miss for Terran as well, but I feel like maybe they're a little scarier. They feel more confident in it than Zerg players do going Ling Bane, Ling Muta. I don't know. We'll have to see, but here comes an SCV. Actually almost blocks off the production of that creep tumor. Takes a couple stabs from that queen, and then heads on up into the main to scout things out. Kind of disappointed, like there's one worker on gas and there's a spawning pool. Congratulations, SCV. That is what you scouted today. There's no Roach Horn, there's no Baneling Nest. There's nothing that says what's going on here in Jevyn's mind. Is this a third base drone? It looks like it is. Yeah, gonna take it up here. So, looks like we might actually be opting for the spot down here for MorN, whereas Jevyn's taking the base a little bit farther away. I wonder why he went here instead of here. I guess the distance from the front door to the natural is about the same. Like this way and then up here. Man, that's really jerky. Sorry. Sorry to everybody watching. This is smoother, but a little bit harder to do. I don't know. I just like going like this. It seems to be fairly smooth on my end, but who knows? Maybe the viewers hate it. If you do, let me know in the comments. All right, so command center popping on up. Refinery happening as well. Bunker at the same old time. This base is going to be a command center with an orbital command. Probably drop down here in just a second. Overlord trying to scout that out. See that timing on the third base. Nothing happening so far. Here we come. Some speedlings across the map. Speedlings will not be able to do anything whatsoever against a good Terran player, which MorN is. But we'll have to see. Maybe they'll be Banelings. Nope, Baneling Nest not quite finished yet. One of the Zerglings does get killed there. Are we going to try to deny the third base with these Lings? Probably could deny it for just a little bit. Kind of force a move out from MorN at a time he necessarily doesn't want to. That could be good for Jevyn. A lot of Lings coming up. This Baneling Nest has just finished. Are we making Banelings? Whoa, this is a 3-base Baneling attack. Yikes. Alright, we'll have to see how Jevyn does against this, or how MorN does against this, how well Jevyn does with this strategy. Yeah, it is. It's going to be Banelings, Lings off of 3 bases just crashing right into that front door. I don't think the Banelings are even going to have speed. There's no lair on the way whatsoever. But here come the Banelings. They crash right into the bunker. All the Banelings are dead, though. There are Hellions out. There are Marines out. And yeah, that got cleaned up fairly easily by MorN. I think if you're going to break the front door over Terran, you need more Lings and more Banelings than that, and possibly have Speedlings or Speed Banelings as well. These Hellions are trapped, but I don't think it matters because there are more of them than Lings at this point. But here comes some more Lings. Going to trap the Hellions in a corner. No! Going to allow the Lings inside. Nope, that's not where the Lings want to be. The Lings say, thank you for the invitation. Actually, the fire from the Hellions burns these trees. That's always something that's always funny to see. Is the splash damage from Hellions flaming down trees. So, pretty fun stuff there. Indeed. Sitting out front are these Zerglings, kind of holding map control right now. Are we getting a lair? We are getting a lair. Meanwhile, the Terran base, we're getting an armory for those continued upgrades. For the infantry armor level 1 and for the level 2s rather. And the weapons level 2 at the same time. Getting extractors, getting creep tumors, getting queens. Fairly standard stuff. Might want to take a 4th base right now for Jevyn. You have map control, I feel like. I mean, at this point, MorN does not want to move out. It's 60 to 50 harvesters. The worker count is looking really good for the Zerg player. But again, the longer this goes for the Terran, the more devastating his army is going to be. With those upgrades, he is getting stim. Is he getting combat shield? I think he might actually already have that. Do these guys have shields? They do not. Does not have combat shield yet, surprisingly enough. So, okay. Maybe not as fully upgraded as you would think. The Lings are blocking the landing of this command center. Exactly like I thought would happen. Now the question is, does MorN want to come out and deal with this? He does. He wants to come out with these Hellions, with these Marines, and shoo these Zerglings away. They're going to be able to do it as well. They might lose a Hellion. No, good response time there from MorN. Backing out, just getting the shots off, chasing the Lings away, but not losing any of his own units. So good stuff there. 4th base coming down from Jevyn. Going to get a surround on that command center, but no, the Hellions are here. A surround on the Hellions? And no, every single Zergling dies. Poor Jevyn. 46 Lings have died in this game, and 2 SCVs, a supply depot, and a bunker has been lost for MorN. So, yikes. I think our Zerg player is a little bit behind right now. Terran power all the way in this replay. Terrans who are watching right now, you can rejoice. Maybe not fully rejoice because the game's not over yet, but really great position right now for MorN. But again, the more bases that the Zerg player gets and the more this creep spread pushes out with a couple creep queens, the more dangerous this can get for the Terran. Shaping up to be a really fun match right now. Spire coming on the way. It is going to be Ling, Baneling, Muta, speed for those Banelings with centrifugal hooks. Being researched, +1 melee, +1 carapace. And yeah, pretty much all that standard stuff from the Zerg player. Reactors, supply depots, and everything else you would expect to see from a bio Terran. And there is actually the combat shield here at the 12-minute mark. A little bit later than I expected, to be entirely honest, but that is okay. Transferring up drones. 83 drones now for Jevyn. I think you can stop making drones now, Jevyn. I think you're good to go. I'm going to be honest with you. He's now making mutas. 13 mutas. Whoa! 13 mutalisks. I guess that's what happens when the Terran doesn't really harass a Zerg. Is that they can drone up like crazy. They can get 13 mutalisks here at the 12-minute mark, which is just insane. 140 to 140. These drops are going to be a lot less effective because of the mutas that are out on the field. Double-pronged, though, right now for MorN. Down at the bottom side and kind of diagonally along the top side as well. Going to drop here. There's a Mutalisk, but I think unloading would be a good choice here. Yes, unloading, but the Mutaflock is here. Going to try to snipe down the medevac. Yes, gets the medevac and then goes after the Marines. But no, the Lings are here to actually absorb some of that damage. And that entire drop does get cleaned up. This medevac is still alive, though. We're going to follow it as it boosts on in to the main base and unloads right behind the mineral line. A very, very safe position. This poor queen is probably going to die. Injects before she does. Good job, queen. The Ling's getting a full surround from all angles. Good micro here from Jevyn, making sure they don't all get trapped inside this mineral stuff. A bailing hit does hit, and the medevac trying to escape. The mutas are chasing it, though. The boost is going to wear off eventually, that's for sure. And when it does, yeah, the medevac ends up dead, and as do the Marines inside it. So like I said, having mutas, having corruptors out really helps against these drops. If you can do this against Terran, please do it, Zerg players. So frustrating for Terran to have to outrun those Mutalisks. It's just not one of the things that they like to do. With the boost, it's a little bit better than it used to be, but still, as soon as that boost wears off, they get caught, and that margin for error is just so slim. So this base, that's not a base. Well, that kind of looked like minerals for a second. Has not taken this base yet. I mean, just how close it is to the main. Look at this, just right down a cliff. We actually have 2 macro hatcheries coming up for Jevyn. But again, how close this is seems like it'd be easily defensible, but it looks like Jevyn is choosing just instead to ignore it entirely. What? The Marine ball? Oh, burrowed Baneling hits on top of all of those Marines. Wow, Jevyn likes those. I think we saw those in the last game that we cast of his. Holy shamoly. All of these medevacs are forced to use a ton of energy on all these Marines that got killed and splashed. But here we come. Unexpected attack from the flank for MorN, or for Jevyn rather, pushing on in. The Marines are kind of dancing back and forth, and Overlord has died. There are Widow Mines here. Another burrowed Baneling hit comes down, though. Why can't I see those? I don't know what's going on. Widow Mine shots take out a lot of Lings. Banelings crashing down on them. The splits are okay for MorN. The Banelings rolling in, though. I think there are just too many. Running back to his main base right now is MorN. He is retreating as fast as his legs will take him. As fast as these medevacs will boost. But here come the Mutalisks, going to try to take down some of these medevacs. There's a Thor now. A Collector's Edition Thor for Wings of Liberty trying to deal with those mutas. And let's just have a moment of silence for those poor Marines that have died in those burrowed Banelings. Wow. Okay, moment of silence is over. Here we go, taking another base though, MorN. Trying to make sure that the macro is good enough to deal with this Zerg player who is on a roll right now. It's 179 to 150 supply. This medevac gets sniped down in midair. The pieces fall down into that chasm, never to be seen again. This medevac says, I saw what happened to my friend there. I hope it doesn't happen to me. Trying to deal with that base, not going to happen. Getting a full surround on this army and trying to deal with these Marines. The Thor taking Baneling hits as well. Banelings rolling right on in to this main base. Lings chasing as well, getting trapped on top of this ramp. Lings and Banelings kind of hovering around the outside. Can't quite decide what to kill right now. Then deciding to head on into the main. And yeah, pretty much a good surround there. Good Baneling hits on all of those Marines. Coming on up, trying to deal with these Marines as soon as they're being produced. This is what you want to do as a Zerg player. Constant reinforcements coming across the map. This drop is still alive though for MorN. I don't know that Jevyn is out of the woods yet. Trying to kill these Marines as soon as they spawn is the goal. But the medevacs are keeping them alive a little bit longer than maybe Jevyn would like. But no, the Marines are slowly getting whittled down by the Zerglings, by the mutas. I don't think there are very many Banelings left whatsoever, but Lings are streaming across the map, taking down supply depots, trying to take down this base as well, but actually better protected than you would think. This drop finally gets cleaned up, it looks like, after sniping a lot of workers. A lot of drones have died, 15, but 24 SCVs have died on the other side. This base is ending up dead. I think we finally got cleaned up in the main base as well. Small push of Marines and Widow Mines trying to deal with this, but this is a lot of Lings and mutas. The mutas go forward. I think that was a mistake, and it was. Widow Mine ends up dead. The Marines are getting surrounded. The Marines do have +3/+3. They're very hard to kill for these Lings, but the Lings have +2/+2 themselves, and when the Marines are split out like this, it's pretty good. Widow Mine hit, gets 8 kills now, trying to pin these Marines up against the wall, and they do manage to do it. Widow Mine hit again. 2 kills on that one. Lings are streaming in, trying to catch as many Marines as they can with their little claws, but I think that's going to be a retreat. Yes, Jevyn is actually retreating now, recognizing it. It's a dangerous spot. You don't just want to continue to throw endless amounts of Zerglings into this meat grinder. You need to actually have enough to deal with them. And there it is. The Baneling hits, take it down, and MorN calls the GG. Trying to land this base, can't quite do it before the game is over. And JevynSlayer is victorious. Maybe it's just JevynSlayer, not JevynSlayer. Either way, this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another Daily Blizzard upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you heard and what you saw today. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.